Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Abel Gonzalez. I'm product marketing with AppDynamics, and I'm very happy to introduce Jeff from Allscripts. And we've been crafting this session about how to streamline your root cause analysis, and I hope you take some stuff away from this. So thank you very much, Jeff, for being here.
And Abel, thank you for your help over time. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to apologize for my voice. Believe me, it's more painful for me to be speaking than for you to have to listen to this. I will try to keep it as gentle on your ears as possible. And I wish it was from partying in Vegas, but it was from a sick child on an airplane. 5 hours she coughed on me. Again, I'm Jeff Brady. I'm from Allscripts. I represent a company that has a global footprint of 12 countries. 180,000 physicians are represented. We're about a $1.3 billion top line company. All of you have a presence in Allscripts. You probably just don't know it. We're I like to say we're the largest healthcare IT organization you've never heard of. So myself, I'm what they call a program or programs manager. I run strategic initiatives for our company. Currently, I'm involved in keeping us in compliance with regulatory initiatives that are mandated by the government. If our programs don't land on time, we can't sell our software. We have to be certified, it has to work, and then it rolls out to the entire user base and has to function in a manner that is acceptable to the users. And if you have to imagine what my users are, they're doctors and they're surgeons and they're nurses. And when the software doesn't work and the phone rings, they are the unhappiest of all clients on the planet. I'm married. I have one grandson, so I'm Grandpa Jeff now. I have 5 kids and an old dog. I'm not sure which of those cost me more money. From where we are in Allscripts, and I'm listening to the presentations from this morning, and from the interactions I've had over time in the last couple of days. I've been here working around for the last couple of days. It's the same message. Our systems are growing. They're becoming more complex. I don't know of any systems that we have that are reducing in size. I don't know of any databases that are getting smaller. I don't know of any customer-facing elements that we have that they're satisfied with a longer wait time. It has to be more integrated in the healthcare space, as you can all imagine. We've all been there from the healthcare space. That, why are you ordering that second test? I just had that done. How come my information isn't available to me? That's all I've done for the last 10 years for Allscripts. Okay. The systems just grow and the complexity grows and they have to be performant. We have to build solutions that meet the need of our company and meet the need of the users to get the information to the patients. And we have to evolve these at a rate faster than we have to evolve the performance faster than the need in the marketplace. If we're all here studying application performance, we all have the same problem. So I heard, driving 100 miles an hour down the road with your eyes closed. I've heard going from, EMTs to brain surgeons. I chose Lost in Space. My generation, I see some younger folks in the crowd. If you remember the robot, he used to just put his hands in there and go, danger, 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 danger. Didn't tell you what the danger was, didn't tell you where it was coming from, didn't tell you what to do about it, just danger. That's where we're at. My boss is not happy with this slide because he doesn't want us to sound like a bunch of buffoons. But when you listen to where we are in the marketplace, it's a common theme, right? We're all struggling with the same set of problems. And how do we close in on those problems, and how do we increase the transparency to that issue so that we can take corrective actions faster. We've all got it. We've got the war rooms. We've got the most senior of engineers. I have some of the folks that I work with. Hi, guys. Some of the brightest and the best in our company at doing this. And when the issues occur, we have to take these senior scientists and these senior architects away from their work. As I like to say, your job should be with your feet up on your desk, staring up at the ceiling, thinking about what we're going to do next. Instead, many of these very intelligent individuals are faced with solving level 2 issues because they're the subject matter expertise. You can't pull them off of it or it won't get solved because they're the only guy that knows how to do it. That's very unfortunate. We need to find ways to enable our junior engineers. We need to develop that bench strength. We need to free up the time of our more senior resources to get us to that next state, get us to where we need to be to serve our market needs of the future. I think I covered it. You know, where have we been? Where are we right now? You know, the issue comes in many times. We've detected it through existing systems, SCOM. We're not without tools. By a long stretch, we're not without tools. But when we transition, I see some of my colleagues from the hosting team here. When we transition from, hey, we have a server that's out of memory, or any number of issues that come up and that goes off to the engineering side of the house, the first response back you get is, it's your server, right? And then the war begins. Is it development or is it the hosted side? Is it, you know, where is this problem? That goes on for 3 days. And then they finally, as it always is, it's in code. With where we've implemented AppD, we get past that in a hurry. I covered a lot of this already, but when we expand within Allscripts, we don't expand by 1 or 2 or 3 users. We expand by the state of New York all at once. I'm going to call out Tom Gertz. Hi, Tom. Tom did that one day. He turned on electronic prescribing for controlled substances for the entire state of New York, okay, in a day. When we talk about our registries, and Stephen Macy's here, our registries are things like immunization. You get an immunization, and it has to, and it goes off to a state-based registry so that we know, so that the state knows who's been immunized for one thing or another. So that when you go back tetanus shot, that's my favorite. You know, when did you all have your last tetanus shot? Who knows? Anybody? Who knows? Do you? Yeah, we got one. All right. So when you fall down and you get that road rash, and the doctor says, when did you have your last tetanus shot? Oh, I have another one. Okay, because you just might need it. That's what an immunization registry helps to solve. When we work and move forward to achieve these mandates, we turn these on by the state of New York, the state of Massachusetts, the state of Wisconsin, Alaska, Hawaii. This many users come on board all at once. Okay, so when the system is underperformant, or if we hit some peak that was unforeseen in our development and load testing, it's not pretty. Make sense? So what we need is we need to do a number of things to help our company grow. We need to get the pressure off of our subject matter experts. We need to get them back to being subject matter, doing subject matter experts work, very senior solution engineers. Where are we going to be in the next 5 years? How do we get the time back for them? Well, we've got to get them out of the war rooms. We've got to find ways to get to that, to streamline the amount of time it takes to get us to the root cause of the problem and call the right guy. Is it the database? Is it SQL? Is it in the executables? Where is it, right? Get that right guy on the phone, get this problem corrected, and get it out the door. We've been using our subject matter expertise to help us our subject matter experts to help get the flow map started so we can understand and get the system essentially instrumented. I really don't like using that word with AppD, but to take that information and make it available so that the more junior engineers can engage, right? A very quick time to reaction, time to close of the issue. In addition, what we've been finding is AppDynamics isn't necessarily a replacement to our tools, okay, but an augmentation of the tools. It makes our existing tool set stronger. AppD teaches us some things, SCOM can teach us others. And we can take the information from both and help to cover gaps where one system begins and one system ends. Okay, it's not an end-all, do-all, but it is very definitely, provides us with an incredible lever to uplift our organization to a higher standard. Okay, we're seeing that everywhere. Does everybody know Eli? This is the best sales engineer in the world. If you don't have Eli, you can't, because he's mine. He was very concerned I wouldn't be able to deliver this with my voice today. Again, we talked about earlier, is it in the code? Is it in the hardware? Where is it in the system? Once we began, we're about, what it was, Tom, 6 months into this? Yeah, we're about 6 months in, and some of the things that we've come out with were instantaneous. There's just no debate. Here is what's wrong. Here is the line of, here's your SQL statement that is causing the delay. Right? No debate. None. Get your DBA on this, get it fixed. We've been finding one of the more interesting stories that we've seen, actually, I'm picking on poor Tom. When we brought up AppDynamics within Allscripts, we started it in the entire organization, from the development engineer all the way through our hosted operations. And we built that consortium so that we could all work together, so we could all speak a common language. Okay, so that hey, I was using AppD and I detected this, that doesn't fall on deaf or untrained ears. They don't, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Where'd you get that information from? No, they understand. They helped us to design the system from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. One of the places we've had some really as we talk about augmenting existing tools, and I said processes, I'm specifically focused on the findings that we've had in our performance labs have been awesome. It's really been awesome, and we'll talk about that a lot more as we go into this. But one of the things when I'm talking about architectural validation is that our hosting team took one solid look at what was going on just in the flow map, just a visual inspection of the flow map, and said, where is this element? Where is this element that causes me so much problems in production? Oh, geez. We don't have that in our cert perf. Oh, whoops. Right, and without question, the reaction, how long did it take him, Tom, to get, for Haven to get the, I believe you spotted it was, yeah, but we spotted it, reconfigured our cert perf to more appropriately align to what we're seeing in production to help augment the overall abilities within our systems. Does that make sense? Okay, and that was straight up visual, that was visual inspection. So again, here, what I'm trying to get at is we're gaining insights from AppD that both go into development and into hosting, but critical is that augmentation of communication. Another area that I coined a phrase, I call it smart growth. Abel says you really got to put a slide in there that, the intent being we're looking for exponential behaviors for our business investments, not just linear growth. And this is a true story. This is a product that I owned for some time, and we got a phone call from the sales guys, and the sales guys said, great opportunity here, we need to double the throughput of our existing system. They're like, wow, that's awesome. How are you going to do it? Well, we can take, many hundreds of thousands of dollars, and probably for easy math, just say $1 million worth of servers and hardware and time and effort and energy and stand it up, and you've doubled your throughput. How does that go for your business case? I just shelled out $1 million to, if I can even get it through finance, I just shelled out $1 million to double my throughput. That's not necessarily the smartest thing you can do. However, at that time, we were smack in the middle of our AppDynamics work, and we turned to I wish I had some of the guys here from our performance lab. We turned to the performance group, and I said, hey guys, double the throughput. And the first thing they went after with using AppD is they said, hey, whoa, when we look at it, the system right down here is our bottleneck. And it's a bottleneck because of some link queries that were written, automatically generated SQL code that was never optimized. I got some numbers on it later. 36 hours later, the optimization was done and into our performance lab. Well, awesome. That was cool. They'd only been trying to figure that out for 18 months. 36 hours after we stuck AppD's nose on it, it was done. Well, wait a minute. Well, went from there, now it's up here with our BizTalk guys. Software engineers out there, y'all are amongst the most competitive individuals I've ever worked with in my life. So we let the BizTalk engineer know that he's now the problem. Well, that wasn't cool to him. He had a fit. Reconfigured the system to operate in a different manner, which then, of course, his good buddy on the front end, he became the problem. This story, by the way, took 2 days. This is a 2-day story. What we ended up with a system that was directionally oriented. Database was shared in the middle, so messages came in, were operated on, and messages were returned on the way back out. We split it like that. We actually reduced the amount of hardware required to meet the needs of the current system, as well as the opportunity for sales that needed double throughput. So point being is, we didn't need to buy any new hardware. We needed to optimize not only our code, but our architecture, okay? All through the capabilities provided by AppD. Before production deployment. And again, so now you call back the sales guy and you say, yeah, we can do it. Book the deal, right? And I don't have to call finance and ask for $1 million, which is, anybody ever done that? Because you know what the first answer is? Yeah, no. All right, so we'll cover a little bit more of this later. So as we talk about this, when we were rolling out AppDynamics, and again, I keep bringing up the poor finance guy because we want a larger set of agents for our company. And the challenge from our business owners, which makes very good sense, is prove it. Prove the value. Okay, and that's a challenge I'm happy to to step up to. So as we were going through that, how do we do such a thing? Well, tell the finance guy because it makes us better engineers. Yeah, no, right? I'll tell the finance guy because of this or because of that. They say, well, then we can just lay that many people off. Well, no, that's not the idea. The idea is to get them doing other things. No. Well, when you start talking to them about getting the enhancing client satisfaction, okay, and being able to deliver to the market your solution in a more performance state sooner and faster, or you just meet your schedules, that does begin to resonate. So we started with some small, well-understood features. Well, I take that back. We started with a non-trivial feature, which is our authentication system for all of Allscripts applications. In other words, if you want to log in, you've got to go through this system. And we started from the development box, through the QA, into our performance labs, and finally into our hosting production systems. They gave us a very powerful position to leverage. One question, do you need this? There's no one in that chain that we're discussing that would say, no, this is non-beneficial and this does not help us. This only helps us grow and work better as a team, okay? It gives us the ability to 90 to eliminate 90% of the execution time in a download process in one fell swoop. Had an issue with the change pass where they're hunting it for 2 weeks. They found, oh God, that was pathetic. They were searching the code. The QA team was searching the code and searching the code and searching the code, trying to find why QA box 1 was performing differently than QA box 2. Couldn't find it. It was a Microsoft patch that was applied to one machine versus the other, and it was in unmanaged code. So AppD put him on the line. The young man said, oh, I know what that is. Went to the, clicked the box. It was awful. 2 weeks, 20 minutes, once AppD on it. Oh, they were root cause, and they were done in an hour. Oh God. Oh, it just goes on and on and on. Every time we apply it, we learn something more about ourselves. We learn something more about our code. We learn something more about the ways to make our tools and our engineering processes work better. AppDynamics is now used extensively within, I keep going back to that performance engineering team. And I've asked them to, as they're doing their work, to think of themselves not necessarily as a performance engineering team, but as a value optimization team. How do you get the most money, the biggest bang for your buck for their time, their efforts, and their energies when you present a fully optimized solution to production? Current methodology is, well, we're going to instrument our code, and we think we might have a problem here. So we'll instrument right there. We'll go through the entire development and production and release cycle just to discover, yeah, that was close, but it really doesn't quite get us what we want. So we'll take that information and feed it back to the engineering development process, and 18 months later, we'll get our update. Awesome, right? That's not what we're doing anymore, okay? These guys are in their performance labs. They're hunting down the issues. They're comparing one release to the other before they go to the production setting. The smart growth example we talked about, it was painfully quick. It was embarrassingly quick. These were not dumb engineers that were working on this, but the engineers that were handed a shiny new toy called AppDynamics took us from, they had two different areas that were problem children, and at the end of the day, it was a 665% increase for 2 days worth of work. And the only reason it took 2 days is because the team was India-based, so they had to go home and sleep. Okay, it was the best 4 hours of engineering time I've ever spent in my life. Okay, so again, small, easy to understand solution. Develop your team, start from the bottom, take it to the top, build your alliances within the company, make sure everyone has a common language, okay? Train, the big bang is not the way to go, because you're gonna dilute your resources and your capabilities. So find one, make it work, let your light shine, And what will come to you are other teams that are having a problem. We've currently went from 1 or 2 things that were under my direct control, and we now have 3 different lines of businesses. Allscripts has 27 different business lines, but we now have 3 different lines of businesses that are fully taking advantage of the solution, okay, by just doing something well and letting it be seen, okay? This is how we're building our business case to move forward, okay? We've got to get, as a company, our senior engineers have to do senior engineering work. That's all there is to it. We've got to get I keep going back to that bench strength. We've got to get the young engineers able to take care of the L1 and the L2. We've got to get the ability to remove any debate coming in from our DevOps team from production back to development. We're healthcare. So, and engineering is not allowed direct access to the production databases. Our production systems, we can't go there because there's protected health information. It's against the law, right? So we have to have separation of production and separation of church and state, basically, right? Can't go there. So to augment or to enhance that communication from the hosting team back into development is paramount. It's something that we just have struggled with for a long time, and this is well on its way to help. The time to root cause, I've become so quick at, I've become arrogantly quick at instrumenting a solution. And I had a team contact me the other day, and I said, well, guys, if you don't mind, I'm going to time myself to see how long. What did I call it, Eli? Tough? What was it? Time to failure identification. So from when they contacted me saying they were having some struggles in their database to when they had the first lines of SQL to go back and optimize was 22 minutes. And it was, again, a classic example of up came the information. The engineers looked at it, and it's my favorite thing. They said, oh, we got to go, and they hung up the phone. It really, truly is that quick. I'm sorry that the guys who've done a lot of this work aren't here, but there's another feature that's in the, that's tucked away, it's hidden away in some of the menus within AppDynamics, and it gives you the ability to overlay one release versus another. So as, again, I'm back into that performance lab, and they're getting a release, maybe even a release a day, maybe one per week. But they're evaluating the impact from the software development team's changes from one to the next to the next. And they've got a baseline that they can pick. They just take a time slice, and they validate that directly against the new code that they've got. And they tell you within seconds whether or not the performance has gone up or down, if it is a negative impact or it's a it's going the wrong way. Here's where you need to go look, and that's direct feedback to the development team. From handing back results to say the system is less performant than it was in the previous release, which is where the current tools are, to this is the line of code that is reducing your performance. That's the magnitude of the change we're talking about. Okay, that's it for me with 1 minute and 13 seconds left.
If you had to do something over again from the start with the adoption of this or getting the groups involved, what would you do, or how did you assure that was a
well, it's funny because you
success?
Stephen Macy is in the audience right here, and the first thing I went after was something, I don't know how many people in here use BizTalk, but that is part of our solutions, and I went straight at BizTalk, which is not necessarily a supported solution within AppD, okay? For really good reasons. What BizTalk does and how it works does not allow AppDynamics to shine the way that it can. So I put a chokehold on the biggest, scariest monster in the whole company, and I tried to wrestle it to the ground. I would never do that again. I would start with a small, well understood. We're a .NET house, so I don't speak Java, but I would start with a very small, well understood. Doesn't need to be the biggest, baddest thing in the whole company, right? And learn your controller, learn how to install the agents, learn the difference between a machine agent, a .NET agent, and a SQL agent. Learn how to take advantage of all those things. and grow organically from there. I went after the big three-headed monster, and I probably blew 6, maybe 8 weeks of my time trying to beat that one to death when I could have been focused on, I mean, we have thousands of opportunities, right? Very low-hanging fruit. I would start there and learn. We will eventually solve the BizTalk problem. It's not a matter of if, but when. But once finance is on your team, and you've got the money, and you've got the resources, we'll go tackle it. Make sense?
Hello, my name is Francisco Rubio, and I manage the public sector practice here at AppDynamics. Just curious, I'm not sure if you deployed or implemented in user monitoring, and if you did, can you speak about potential or challenges around HIPAA compliance as it relates to your EHRs? And I do realize this is a loaded question, so if you think that we should take it offline, I'd definitely love to. Thank you.
I'm going to read back to you a text message sent to my boss during the speech from this morning, and it was what did it say? We need to add to our production contract the following. And that was specifically around end user monitoring. Many of our solutions that I'm directly responsible for, I work in something called a common components, okay? So we're a centralized set of services that are shared by our EMRs all the way around, okay? So we, instead of having to do it 3 and 4 and 5 different places, we do it once and open up a set of APIs so that the surround solutions can just tie into us. Okay. Some of those solutions operate on massive databases, massive data stores, and our clients log in through portals to access their analytics for their healthcare analytics. And so it's not necessarily an Amazon purchase, but it is very definitely log in, ask the system a question, system executes, get a response, display back your results. You can look at it as a purchase, right? And how did it go throughout the entire system? So I turned and asked to one of the guys that's here with me from that team, I said, how are your end users doing right now? I have no idea. I said, good answer, right? So that is the one thing I would go, that I'm returning home with a vengeance. Because we need to bring that up, we need to get it into our test systems, and we need to show the value to the bosses. Did that answer your question?
Somewhat.
All right, we can take care of it later. Yeah.
So I'm also from a healthcare company, and I'm in a very starting stage of implementing AppDynamics. So what are the takeaways from the security team? Because I'm having a discussion with them about this tool, and I don't know how should I handle security. So do you have any insights on that? How did you manage security part of it? What was the challenges? What are the takeaways that we should, focus beforehand we get into the discussions?
So where we are right now is 2 controllers. We have our controller on our development side, and we have the controller that Tom manages for us on the production side. And we keep them distinctly separate, okay? We share a custom correlation from, we understand how to correlate, how to produce the custom correlation on the engineering development side and pass that through for our production systems to incorporate in to get a better read on the production systems. That said, one of the things that that Tom and I have been in discussions with the last month or so, maybe even longer, is how do we produce a set of dashboards, okay, that can be opened up to the development engineers, that does not contain, for us, it's of course PHI. For one, you cannot ever have that. But beyond that, some of our solutions, we don't want to make it easy for the hackers by any way, shape, or form. So any information about IP addresses, host names, you pick, that's not cool to make it easy. Okay, so we have to find a way to obfuscate that information, but still return back to our development engineers, where to go work. And that's exactly where we are right now, right? But yeah, poking holes in the firewalls to let the agents, spit out information to an open controller, no. I think that's off. That's 2 controllers. Did that help?
So I had a question about engaging developers in believing that the metrics you're showing them are pointing the finger at their work.
Yep.
I definitely. So we're about 8 months in. We have requests that cross application boundaries. I notice a performance issue, and I go to the engineers on both teams, and I say, look, something is happening between here and here. And these requests are taking a longer time, and these requests are taking a longer time. And the first response is, it's the network.
That's not it,
so,
right?
yeah, and it's just like, okay. So I'm curious what your approach to dealing with this is, because apparently you have the facts right in front of you. How do you convince them that, hey, this is meaningful, please go take care of it?
So that it may be in a different situation for you. I'm an engineering manager. So I'm on the engineering side saying, how do we improve the communication from our hosting teams, from our DevOps teams back into my recommendation to you is similar to what I said. Maybe it's a second control, the controllers you don't pay for, right? But get it in the hands of your development engineers, right? Train them up so that they'll get it. And they'll go, whoa, I see what this guy's saying. And we will hand them back the code. We'll say, here's your SQL statement. We'll take it back into our performance labs and let the performance engineers beat up the developers. They don't really fight with us much anymore. It's, it's fairly well received information. Right? Build the team.
Hey, so first of all, I can vouch for Eli. So we work with Eli as well.
Yeah, you like that?
I wanted to ask you, one of the things that my team has struggled with a little bit has been really understanding how to quickly and easily drill into root cause when we're in the middle of an incident, right? So it's almost like what do we click on within AppDynamics, right? What do we focus on? There's so much information. I think some of my team members are kind of overwhelmed, and it's hard to get them to really truly be subject matter experts within AppDynamics in the heat of the moment to be able to very quickly triage down to root cause. So how did you kind of train your team, or how did your team become so adept at that?
So I'm not going to say we're experts at that. And Tom, you go ahead and jump in on this if you want, but I'll give it a go at first. I'm going back to build that coalition and build that team, okay? And I may be an oddity because I'm not coming at this from the IT side. I'm coming at this as an engineering-led initiative. This is engineering saying we need to be better, okay? And having been a development engineer for 35 years, I don't know, a very long time, I know that no one likes to have their baby called ugly. It's not me. It's got to be the hardware. Isn't it, Stephen, right? It's always the hardware. It's the network, right? It can't be my code. So how do you remove that? You just called my baby ugly, because that can get, you can get a very strong response to that. That's why I built that team from one end to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. It was to build the trust in the tool, build the trust in the information they're getting back, because when it happens, when the system goes down, right, and you need a tool, the tool's trying to give you information, but you don't know how to get it out of there, that's a tough way to learn how to use something, right? I'd rather, and again, it's engineering led. So this has become interstitial to our development process. It's dev, QA, and performance engineers use this on a daily basis. So if Tom calls them up and says, hey, we got a problem here, well, they can log in and they know how to use the tool. Does that help? Or?
It does a little bit. I guess what I've seen is even some of my most skilled engineers, you know, maybe it's the pressure of the boss standing right beside, behind them, right? When I'm watching them use the tool, it just seems like they're clicking on a bunch of different things. So I mean, within AppDynamics itself, how do we train our engineers to get the most out of the tool and to be able to navigate it so well? It's like when we're having our sessions with Eli and he's, you know, we're trying to follow along as he's clicking at, you know, lightning speed to drill down to an issue. I want my guys to be able to do that too. And I know that comes with time, but just in terms of kind of where do you focus or how do you, you know, train up your team?
Man, I wish my system was up, because for me, I just go over here and it says very slow transaction, stalls and errors, and I just go click. And it takes me right to it. Eli, I mean, that's, it's to me, it's just clicks away. Because there's a beautiful little part of the UI, you know, slow, very slow, errors, and stalls. And I'm straight into it in seconds. And I'm not that smart.
And that it doesn't allow for many errors that are tolerated. A lot of systems are not like that, and that may be where your difficulty is coming from. I'm operating a system that is spaghetti code on last 20 years, and that runs with a huge number of errors that are normal, and we still service our customers with it. And that's where your problems are coming from. Very few of us have, or I think very few of us have really clear systems where it's so easy to point to this. You run systems that are orange most of the time, and you know that your customers are more or less fine based on other factors. So that's where it has to come essentially from experience. You need to get people to watch the system when it's running fine and see what kind of errors they're finding, look at percentages of errors. One useful feature that I found, if you know you had a problem in a certain period of time, you can take snapshots from that week or whatever that period of time is, compare it to snapshot when everything was working fine. And then look at error percentages and drill down on where most of them are. If you're looking for errors, or if you're looking for stale, whatever you want to look at, you'll be able to see the difference there. And that's where their knowledge about your particular system and how to work with AppDynamics against it will come from. If you're in that situation that you're running the system that has a certain number of tolerated errors already.
I think we have time for one more question.
Yeah, I had a simple question about the approach. Many of our organizations are getting forced down to conversations that are sensitive, but they're real. We have to do more with less. So when we talk about agile engineering adoption, we're getting down into our delivery teams owning configuration as code. So I didn't see a reference inside your slide deck, but I heard implications around it. Where are you guys at with automation first? Yeah, that looks like automation oriented. Were you guys able to bring this in as the agents are part of standing up a machine for test, deploying out to prod?
Yes. The unfortunate thing is this product line that I got asked to jump in on, and I'm almost done with my voice, I'm sorry. I was asked to go and see if we could save it, okay? And my end result was kill it, all right? But at the end of the day, that did not deploy in all, just being honest about it. But that was slated to go. Okay, the finding was clear, and that is the engineers in our performance labs need to not only be responsible for the code, they need to be responsible for the architectural validation and how that system works from end to end. Okay, and that you hear me speaking about augmentation of your existing tools. We're not going to rip out our performance tools, right? but how do we augment that capability? And that's what we're finding. And it helps to make us, helps to provide us with that ability to validate not just the code, but also look at the architecture. Does that help? Because that's absolutely a responsibility of development. Right? Well, I take it back. It's all a partnership. Development would be arrogant if they told these two guys right behind you how it should work in production. Okay? There's a team that has to be there, but there is places to validate that before it actually goes out. You had one more?
Yeah, one more. I have about 4 minutes.
I'll try to be quick. So we also have two controllers, one for our DevQA environment and one for our production environment. And also I will say that I look with envy on some of the flowcharts where there are maybe 4 or 5 tiers. We're talking databases. We have one tier that has literally 12 other things that talk to it. And we find that when we are trying to figure out load testing in Dev and QA, it's very difficult to do that without essentially reproducing production. When you said that you take New York online in one go, how do you guys cope with that in Dev QA? Is it a combination of different tools? Like, just what's your approach to that? Because that's something we struggle with.
It's pathetic. Oh, if I can be blunt. So our rules around protected health information are severe. Our CEO goes to jail. And I always say that I will be without a job long before my CEO's in jail, right? So it is a constant struggle between real life data, okay, and what we can do in production or in a load test environment. So I feel strongly that tools such as this, that as we start to pull key metrics and attributes out and to feed that information back to, where did I have that? And to feed that information, right there, and to feed that information back to get that loop going from the production teams back into the development organizations is key, is central to an organization's success and taking full utilization of a tool like this. Got to have that team, because for us, we're never going to get the live data.
Great. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks.